Timestamps are in the description below if you want to skip to one of these 3 examples. The first example, x squared plus 3x is more than negative 2. First step is to always write it in standard form. Add 2 to both sides and the sign doesn't change. Then you have it in standard form. X squared plus 3x plus 2 is more than 0. Now change the inequality sign to an equal sign to calculate the x-axis intercepts, also called the roots. Factorize this expression and you will get x plus 2 in brackets, x plus 1 in brackets equals 0. I have a video on factoring quadratics if you want to sharpen your skills. 0 multiplied by anything is 0, so make x plus 2 equal to 0 and x plus 1 equal to 0. Now solve for the two x's. For the first one, subtract 2 from both sides and then your first x will be negative 2. And for the second x, subtract 1 from both sides to get x is equal to negative 1. These two x values are your x-axis intercepts, where the quadratic graph cuts the x-axis. Since it is a positive x squared, the shape of the graph will look like this, with the roots just calculated. The line y equals 0 will be here. Now look at the equation in this green box and see that we want to find the values for x where this quadratic graph will be more than 0, aka above the y equals 0 line. Where this quadratic is more than 0, I will indicate it with these green lines. This is where your graph is more than 0. Now see that your value for x needs to be less than negative 2 and more than negative 1 to be more than 0. Or you can say where the graph is positive above the y equals 0 line. Thus your answer will be x is less than negative 2 and x is more than negative 1. Second example, x squared is less than or equals to x plus 6. Again, write the expression in standard form. Subtract x from both sides and subtract 6 from both sides too, and the sign stays the same. Now you have x squared minus x minus 6 is less than or equal to 0. Change the inequality sign into an equal sign and solve for the x-axis intercepts. You can factorize this expression. It will be x negative 3 in one bracket and then x plus 2 in another bracket equals 0. Make x minus 3 equal to 0 and x plus 2 equal to 0 as well. Solve for these x's and it will give you x is equal to 3 and x is equal to negative 2, and these are your roots. Again, since it is a positive x squared, the shape of the graph will look like this, with the roots shown here. The line y equals 0 will be here, and take a look at the equation in the green box. It wants the x values where the graph is less than or equal to 0. So the graph needs to be below the y equals 0 line. The area that we are interested in is shown by these green lines. Thus, your answer is negative 2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. Or you can say x is between negative 2 and 3, both included because of the added equal sign. Third example, negative 3x squared plus 2x is more than 5. Write the equation in standard form, subtract 5 from both sides to give you negative 3x squared plus 2x negative 5 is more than 0. Make this expression equal to 0 to calculate your roots. Now if you attempt to factorize this, you will notice that you can't. So you have to use the quadratic formula to calculate your roots. I also have a video on using the quadratic formula if you want to take a look. Negative 3 will be your a value, positive 2 will be your b value, and negative 5 will be your c value. Plug these values into the quadratic equation. Remember to use the plus, then the minus sign separately. You can do it in any order. Then calculate and you will get two values. x1 rounded off to 2 decimals is 1.67 and x2 is -1. Now you have your x-axis intercepts. The coefficient of the x squared is negative. It is -3. So your graph will have this shape. Roots are also shown here. Take a look at this equation in the green box and see that they want you to find the values of x where the quadratic graph is more than 0. The line y equals 0 will be here. The quadratic graph will be more than 0 in this region here where I mark it with the green bars. And thus x will be between -1 and 1.67, both not included. Or you can say -1 less than x less than 1.67. Thank you for watching, and I hope you understand quadratic inequalities a bit better now. Good luck on your math journey.